Hey folks, this lesson is your fourth part of review. I don't know how many parts we're going to have. I know there's a lot because we have a lot of time left. This is our SOHCAHTOA stuff, okay? SOHCAHTOA. So it goes, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So a silly acronym is some old hippie caught another hippie taking old apples. I know there's another way to say it, but I am not going to say that. So solve for x, round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so here the hypotenuse is not being used, so this is this one's going to be tangent. Okay, so the tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so make sure your calculator is in degree mode, and then you can cross multiply, and we get about 8.1. Okay. All right, so for this one here, this one is adjacent in hypotenuse. This is cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so get the decimal of that, cross multiply, and then we're going to divide 7 by 0.6820. So I get about 10.3 on that. Okay, all right, so this one looks like sine, opposite. So here's the angle, so it's opposite over hypotenuse. So this is a sine ratio. So go ahead, cross multiply, and then divide, and we get about 11.9, okay? Okay, what's this? All right, here we're finding the angle. All right, so again, the hypotenuse is down here. It's not being used, so this is a tangent, opposite over adjacent. So the tangent of x is 4/13. Okay, so to get x, you guys, then we got to do shift tangent or second function tangent of 4/13. And when you do that, we get about 17.1 degrees. All right, so this one here is adjacent over hypotenuse cosine. So the cosine of x is 12/13. So we do shift cosine, and we get about 22.6 degrees. Okay, so once I know this one, I take this one away from 90 to get the other acute angle right there. Remember, these acute angles of this right triangle are always complementary, always add up to 90. So if they ask for the other one, so solve the right triangle round to the nearest tenth. Okay, so when they say solve, you guys, it says find everything, find all the missing parts. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is get k. That's easy enough because these two angles are complementary. All right, now we need to get these two sides. So I think I'm going to do let this be x and let this be y, and do cosine for x and sine for y with this 40 right here. Okay, so get the decimals of that, cross multiply, and we get ml is about 6.1 and kl is about 5.1. Okay, all right, so here here we got to get both the angles D and F, and we got to get segment EF. Okay, so let's use the Pythagorean theorem to get EF. So I get the square root of 72, and so when I prime factorize that, we get 6 root 2. So remember, it's going to be multiple choice final, so I don't know if you're going to see that answer or see the decimal answer. So the square root of 72, I know the square root of 64 is 8, and the square root of 81 is 9, so it's somewhere between 8 and 9, so about 8.5. Just punch in your calculator to the square root of that. So I don't know if they want this answer or this answer. I don't know. I made the final like 6 years ago. Okay. All right, so let's get D, you guys. And once we get D, then we can just take it away from 90 to get F right there. Okay, so the cosine of this angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. So here we do shift cosine. So D is going to be about 70.5. So then we can find F by taking that away from 90 right there. All right, let's do a couple of application problems. Here we have a 12-foot ramp installed as shown. The ramp makes an angle of 11 degrees with the ground. Find the dimensions to the nearest tenth of a foot. So we want to find how tall it is and how long this is right here. Okay, so here we're going to do the sine of this is opposite over hypotenuse, and the cosine of this 11 is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so let's go ahead and put those in there. All right, and then so the sine of 11 and the cosine of 11 are right there, and we put those numbers in, cross multiply, and we get let's see, we get x to be about 2.3 feet and y to be about 11.8 feet. All right, one more, you guys. Mary's planning to fence her backyard, so every side of the yard except for the side along the house. So here's the house right here, so every side of the yard is supposed to be fenced. So we're going to have a fence here, a fence here, and a fence right there. Okay, so if the fencing costs $3.50 per yard, how much will the fence cost? Okay, all right, so we're gonna it's gonna be 12. What our goal is, we need to find out this. So see this right triangle, we're gonna do SOHCAHTOA right there. Okay, so the total fencing needed is this segment plus this segment plus this segment right here. Okay, we need to get KL using SOHCAHTOA right there. Okay, so here's the angle, 32 degrees. Now do you see where 11 came from? It's 23 minus 12, so this little piece is 11. All right, so this is a sine ratio. The sine of 32 is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so when we get that, we get KL to be about 20.76. Okay, so the total fencing is JK, which is 12. KL is that 20.76, and LN is that 23. So here's our total fencing right there. And then we multiply that by $3.50 a yard, and we get about $195.16. All right, you guys take care.